So I've been thinking about this geek project for almost a year now, and I think this is going to be the year I'm going to do it. I want to take this and turn it into this. Let's talk about this today here in my Geek Corner. Hey there, everybody, it's Rev Kev. Welcome back to my Geek Corner channel. So great to be here with each and every one of you. So, as I said in the intro, I've been thinking for a long time about Dragonlance. Now, I'm a big Dragonlance. Like, this is my Dragonlance collection over here on this side of my book corner. Been reading it ever since the books were initially published back in the 80s. It's my favorite fantasy setting. It's my favorite fantasy world, and I just love it. So last Christmas, so Christmas 2022, I got this, right? I got the Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen. I got the big box set. This, I got the Dragonlance Warriors of Krynn box. I got the box set of the D&D 5th edition book. And I'm really going to get into this. And as I've been reading it and reading it and reading it, um, and seeing all the online drama about D&D, it's like I haven't gotten into it, to be honest. And I've done a couple of videos on this book, and it's fine. The story is okay, but it just doesn't feel like Dragonlance to me. Now, I also did another video on this book here. This is the Dragonlance Companion. This is done by, I found this over on splinterverse.com. Phenomenal resource. Really great stuff. This here was actually way better than what Wizard of the Coast put out with this. This was really excellent. But I've really been getting back into Genesys. Now, if you're not familiar with Genesys, this was a role-playing game setting that came out years ago by Fantasy Flight Games, and it was the system that they used for their Star Wars role-playing game. So whether you got Edge of the Empire, Force and Destiny, Age of Rebellion, the three main source books all used this gaming system. And it's built around narrative dice instead of just numerical dice. And so all the dice there's different colors and different odd shapes, and they all have these, you won't be able to see it, but they all have like these funny little symbols. And you have successes and failures and triumphs and all these different kind of things, and they all cancel each other out. And the game master with the players creates story that just flows from the results of the dice. And I really like that. That system really connected with me as a storyteller, as someone who's just not about hit, miss, or even just kind of calculating the statistics of a 6-sided dice or a 20-sided dice and what are the percentages if I get what I need in order to kill that goblin. It just, for me, gave it more of a story feel, which I thought worked great in the Star Wars role-playing game, which is why, really, Dragonlance is the fantasy version of Star Wars. Really, I've always, maybe that's why I like Dragonlance and Star Wars so much, is they're just very similar in the heart of them. So that's why I wanted to basically take all of these Dragonlance rules and convert them into this Genesys system. Now, I was all gung-ho, and I was going to get started. I was going to kind of work from scratch. And then I figured, whoa, RevCav, like, okay, calm down. There's nothing new under the sun. There's probably someone who has started working on this already. And I'm glad I did a couple of Google searches first, because I came across this file here. Now, I wish I could give credit to whoever put this together, but I found this on a website called pdfcoffee.com. There's no author, there's no team, there's no company, there's just rules. And so what these individuals have started to do is exactly what I was thinking of doing, is taking the core essence of Dragonlance and converting it over into the Genesys role-playing game system. Now, the way I was planning on doing this was by going through other resources. I was going to go through this book here, for example, This is the realms of Terranoth. If you're not familiar with this, this is the world that Descent, the fantasy flight game, the dungeon crawler game, this is their fantasy world for that. So I was just going to go through this book and find things that are compatible. If you have an elf in Terranoth, well, then that would just be an elf in Dragonlance and use the same stats. So I didn't have to worry about the testing and all that kind of stuff. Human stats are the same. Knights of Solamnia, what are their versions of knights here? There's also another book that I found as well. Whoops, sorry about that. Click on this here. Is this expanded player's guide, just to find different source material in there as well. So I was going to go through these different resources and throw all this together. And that really seems to be what these people, this person started to do with this Dragonlance PDF that I found. Is they started, put a little bit of an introduction together about the world of Kryn, the history of it, started talking about the different organizations, so the different careers that you can have, and looking at the skills and the races. And then it kind of, and so I've been looking for more of this, and from what I can tell, and please put it in the comment section if I'm wrong, it looks like nothing's been happening with this since about 2017. So figured, well, I'm going to use this as my starting point. I'm not trying to rip anybody off, and so please reach out to me if this is yours. I would love to connect with you and give credit where credit is due. But I'm going to use this a little bit as a launching point, because my goal is really to take this and put it into this Genesys gaming system. And not only do I want to just kind of take it and merge it into this system, I do want to tweak this. As I said in other videos and where I talked about this, it's okay. Like, the story is okay, but it's missing a ton of the drama that makes Dragonlance. Because I don't know if it's just the modern politically correct world that we're living in, because it just feels too clean. Like, it's there's no tension. There's no, tension between the races. There's no tension between the genders. There's no tension between good and evil. It's just kind of this, everything's just kind of there, and so much of what made Dragonlance was the fact that there was all of this tension, that the races didn't get along, that there was, threats of war and rumors of war, and just people not talking to each other for generations, which made the world of Kryn perfect for the Queen of Darkness to come in and attack. Whereas this starts off in this village where everyone gets along and all the races get along, and dogs and cats living together. It's all like this perfect utopia. And so it just feels like Dragonlance. The other thing that I really feel is missing with this is really good rules for Kender. Now, Kender is that race that, one of my favorite. Hasselhoff Burfoot's one of my favorite characters. Is so fun in the books. And, they just have no fear, this immense curiosity, and they're unapologetically kleptomaniacs, right? And it's subconscious kleptomania. Like, they don't go, ooh, like, I want to screw over that other player and steal their dagger. It's not like that. Remember back in the 80s and 90s, that's how we played D&D, and couldn't play as a team. We just wanted to, mess each other up and steal each other's junk. That's not what Kender do. They are so curious, and their sleight of hand is so powerful that they just walk away with stuff without anybody knowing it. And I get why they did this. Why, Dungeons and Dragons took all that out. It's because it upsets people when someone steals their stuff, and it's not fair. And it's like, you know what? The world's not fair, man. It's just the way it works. And you gotta make, with ability, Kender are just not Kender. Like, why would you ever want to play one? That was the beauty of it. I love the old, I think it was the AD&D rules, where there was like this big chart where the DM could just randomly, roll on it. And when the Kender puts his hand into his pouch and will pull out, this magical device of time travel, or this magical spoon, or a dead rat. They had no clue where they found these things and gathered things. And so for me, that is just such a better story driven thing that, for me, it's really, really good in with the Genesis storytelling system. So this is a little bit of an introduction video that this project, I'm kicking this off. I'm starting to work on this now. And so the way I'm going to be doing this is in the description below, I've got a link to my Discord server. So if you want to participate in this, if you want to give some feedback, if you want to look at some of these PDFs that I'm finding online, if you want to, contribute in any kind of way, go to that Discord server and make sure that you're connected there and stay up to date and participate that way. And so what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start working with the Knights of Solamnia and the Wizards of High Sorcery. I want to clean up those two things first. And then I want to jump into Kender and those rules. And then I want to jump into the gnomes to kind of about their inventions and all that stuff and play with that. And then I'm going to get into starting to rewrite some of this story. And so my hope and my desire is that I'm going to be putting this stuff out, video updates on the work that I'm doing with this. And then hopefully I'll get some game playing happening. Maybe with some of you, we'll play it online or something like that. Or maybe just with my friends and family here and we'll record some stuff and give updates on how it goes. So that's my geek project for 2024. I've been doing my New Year's goal setting, and so I need to spend a little bit more time doing some things that are a little bit more creative. I like to do writing, I like to do painting, and I need to do some creative stuff outside of my stir world because it's good to not always just be stuck in one little headspace. It's good to be creative in other sources and other ways. So that's what I'm going to do here, and I really hope that you will journey along with me. So, first question right out of the gate. Have you ever played Genesis? I know a number of people have been subscribing to this channel, because you are a Genesis player. So I'd love to know if there's anything that I should be thinking of. Put that in the comments. Put that in the Discord server. Did you play this Dragonlance module? What did you like about it? What did you not like about it? What works for you with D&D 5th edition? What doesn't work for you? Love to hear all of that, whether in the comments here or over on the Discord server. And let's get that conversation going and let's have some fun geeking out together with this project. So that's it for this video. So thank you for being a part of the community here. It really means a lot to me. If you're new to the channel, all the proceeds that I make from YouTube actually go to help support children in Guatemala through Compassion Canada. It's a ministry that's really near and dear to my heart. And so whenever money comes in from YouTube, it just goes right out, whether it's through child sponsorship or to different projects that go to support like moms and new babies and children in Guatemala. So, until the next video, God bless you, and we'll talk to you again real soon.